The SOS in the void. The stars were silent, endless in their shine. Yet silence in space was never safe. Silence meant that no one was listening. And if no one listened, then you were already dead. Far away, in a broken corner of the galaxy, a small alien ship drifted like a dying animal, its hull burned, its engines failing, its crew trembling. They had been hunted across 6 systems by the Empire's Predator fleet. Now they had nowhere to run. The captain, a thin alien with pale skin and hollow eyes, pressed his trembling claws. Against the console, his voice cracked as he whispered, "Send it. Send the signal." His crew hesitated. They knew what the signal was, the old code, the forbidden one. But they had no choice. A pulse of light flashed from the ship, carried by waves faster than thought. It was not a normal distress call. It was ancient, older than their empire. It was a code buried and forgotten. Records, a code that once belonged to the humans. The crew held their breath. They prayed someone would hear. But deep inside, they also feared who might answer. The signal traveled through the void, past nebulae and broken moons, past ruined stations long abandoned, and then it reached a silent graveyard on the edge of known space. There, in the shadow of a dead star, massive shapes floated, their hulls black, their designs alien to every eye except one species. They were human ships, the Deathworlder Fleet, forgotten, buried in myth. For centuries, the galaxy believed humans were gone, erased after the last great war. Their planets burned, their borders closed, their ships destroyed. But the truth was, hidden, the humans had placed their fleet to sleep, waiting for a voice to call them back. The distress code echoed through the graveyard. Inside the silent ships, lights flickered, systems hummed, ancient AIs stirred from slumber. Signal received. A cold machine voice whispered across the empty decks. Origin unknown. Another replied. Protocol Omega initiated, the voices said together one by one. The ships came alive, their engines glowing with a deep blue fire, their weapons humming like predators sharpening claws, their black hulls reflecting no light, almost like shadows moving in the void. Far away, on a distant outpost, alien traders picked up the returning signal. They froze when they recognized the frequency. "It cannot be," one whispered. "Those codes belong to the Deathworlders." Fear spread like a storm through the galaxy. Legends told that if the humans returned, blood would follow. Back on the broken alien ship, the crew felt a vibration. Through their systems, they checked their scanners and saw it. An enormous blip moving closer, not Empire, not friend, not anything they had seen before. "Captain?" "Something answers," the navigator whispered, his voice shaking. "What is it?" the captain asked, though in his heart he already knew. The blip grew larger on the screen until the outline was clear. A massive warship, old but alive, sliding through the dark like a beast. Its hull carried scars of battles long past, yet it moved with silent power. The alien crew stared, their fear mixing with hope. "We called for help," one whispered. "But what if this is worse?" The warship sent a single message, in a language older than the alien empire, yet the crew understood it because the words were simple. "Who calls for aid?" The captain swallowed hard. He sent back his reply, his voice breaking. "We are hunted. We beg for rescue. We sent the signal. Please do not let us die." There was silence. Then the warship answered. Humans do not ignore the call. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy trembled, because the Deathworld fleet had begun to awaken. Whispers of the Deathworld news in the galaxy traveled fast. Faster than any ship, faster than any blade. When the signal of the Deathworld fleet returned, it spread through trade channels, black markets, and military outposts like a wildfire. On the merchant station of Thalos Prime, traders froze when they saw the code flash across their receivers. The room fell silent. No one spoke. Then one old trader whispered the forbidden word. "Humans." His voice cracked with fear. In the council chamber of the Empire, rulers gathered, their scaled faces pale, their voices sharp. "It cannot be, the Deathworlders are gone, their worlds burned," one shouted. Another hissed. "Yet their code lives," they argued. Some wanted to crush the awakening fleet before it fully rose. Others wanted to erase all record of the signal, pretend it never came. But deep in their bones, every leader knew the truth. The galaxy was not ready for humans again. Long ago, humanity had been different from other species. They came from a world where everything was sharp, poisonous, or deadly. Their gravity broke bones, their storms shattered cities. Their animals tore flesh with teeth and claws. Their planet was called a death world, and those who survived there were stronger than any other. When humans carried their nature into space, they fought wars with a ferocity no empire could match. They did not fight like soldiers. They fought like survivors, like predators. That memory still haunted the elders of the galaxy, yet in the hidden corners of oppressed colonies, the signal was not met with fear. It was met with hope. In the mining tunnels of the Varick slaves, whispers rose. The Deathworlders return. Maybe freedom comes with them. In the swamps of the Drell refugees, they lit fires to the sky, chanting, "Humans, humans, humans." Not everyone saw humans as monsters. Some saw them as the only species cruel enough to stand against cruelty itself. Meanwhile, in the void, the first human ship continued to move, silent and steady, its sensors scanning, its AIs humming. It carried the name Iron Reaper, a ship that once ended 3 predator armadas. It was old but alive, and now it searched for the source of the call. The small alien crew who had sent the SOS watched in silence. They whispered to each other. Why would Deathworlders answer? Why not their empire? Fear twisted in their voices, but their captain saw something else. He saw power. Then it happened. Another signal pulsed across the stars, not from the humans, but from the Predator Empire. Their hunters had traced the SOS too. Their fleets were closing in. Alarms screamed on the alien ship. "They come! They found us!" the navigator cried. Red dots filled their scanners. Enemy ships were near. The captain turned to his crew. "Hold! The Deathworlders have not spoken yet." His words were weak, but hope burned in his eyes. The Predator ships closed in, sleek and sharp, built for the hunt. They circled the broken alien vessel like wolves around prey. Their commanders sneered through the comms. "Your call for help ends here, no one saves you." But then space itself seemed to darken. The Iron Reaper shifted into view. It dwarfed the Predator ships, its hull scarred yet terrifying. It moved with the weight of a predator older than any hunter. The Predators froze. Their sensors screamed warnings. Their commanders shouted orders. "Identify that vessel." But the answer only brought silence. The code on their screens read one word: human. Fear tore through the Predator fleet. Memories older than their soldiers returned. Stories of fleets shattered, wars lost, empires burned by the hands. Of the Deathworlders, the human ship spoke, its voice metallic and cold. "Predators, you hunt the weak, now you face hunters older than you." And for the first time in centuries, Predator ships turned to flee. The alien crew stared, wide-eyed. They could not believe what they saw. One whispered, "The legends are true. They fear them." Another added, "The galaxy itself trembles." But the captain knew this was only the beginning. He watched the Iron Reaper and whispered, "This is not rescue. This is awakening." The signal had not only called one ship. Deep in the graveyard, more shadows moved. More human vessels stirred, their engines glowing like stars being born. And across the galaxy, in council halls, slave camps, predator dens, and forgotten colonies, the whispers grew louder. The Deathworlders are awake. The awakening. Fleet in the darkness of the graveyard. Ancient machines stirred. One ship waking had been enough to scare the predators, but the SO signal did not call only one. It was a key, and it unlocked them all. Deep inside black hangars, hidden within hollow moons, lights blinked. Doors groaned open. Dust of centuries scattered in weightless clouds. Massive human ships drifted free. Their names carved in old languages, names of storms, beasts, and gods. Iron Wrath, Stormchild, Leviathan, Ash Phoenix, the artificial minds that guided them spoke in silence. Distress signal received, status confirmed, awakening protocol complete. Each voice carried no emotion, Yet behind every word was the weight of war. The predators who had come to hunt one broken alien ship now saw dozens of blips forming on their scanners. Fear twisted their ranks. Commanders barked, "Stand your ground, it is illusion, no fleet can wake so fast." But illusions did not fire engines, and illusions did not lock weapons. The void glowed with blue fire, one after another. Deathworlder ships lit the darkness. Their engines burned like stars being born. Their hulls scarred with battles that no living predator remembered, yet each moved with the precision of a blade. Inside the council chambers across the galaxy, panic spread. One emperor struck the table with trembling claws. "If they rise, the balance shatters." Another hissed, "We must unite, or all is lost." Yet they knew, no alliance of prey could ever stop a predator like humanity. The small, alien ship, still crippled and drifting, watched in silence. Its crew pressed against their screens, their eyes wide. They had asked for rescue, but what they had unleashed was something greater. One whispered, "This is not salvation, this is judgment." The Iron Reaper, first to wake, took command. Its machine voice spread across the fleet. Targets detected. Predator fleet in proximity. Command received, engage. The predators hesitated. They had hunted for centuries. They had ruled like kings. But before them stood a nightmare older than their rule. Then the humans moved. The Stormchild fired its cannons. Beams of energy cut through predator shields as if slicing water. 2 ships exploded instantly. The Leviathan unleashed swarms of drones, metal beasts that ripped through enemy hulls like claws tearing flesh. The Ash Phoenix released firestorms of plasma, burning hunters into silence. It was not a battle. It was slaughter. The Predator commander screamed for retreat, but even retreat was death. Their ships scattered, colliding with one another in chaos, their formation broken like glass. From the shadows, more human ships drifted into the fight, each strike precise, each movement cold. They did not roar, they did not cheer, they fought with silence, with focus, with the patience of death itself. The alien crew on the broken ship trembled. One whispered, "I prayed for someone to save us, but this is a force the galaxy was never meant to see again." And yet, in that moment, they also felt awe. For centuries, the galaxy had mocked the Deathworlders, calling them myths, calling them extinct. Now those myths carved fire into the stars and the far reaches. Oppressed colonies cheered when the whispers reached them. The predators lost, the Deathworlders fight again. Slaves dared to dream, rebels lit their banners, hope spread faster than fear. But in the Predator Empire's throne world, fear became rage. Their emperor rose, his voice thundered. "The humans awaken, then let us show them the galaxy belongs to us." War drums echoed through Predator fleets. Billions of soldiers prepared, yet even they did not know the truth. Because deep inside the graveyard, beneath layers of ice and rock, not only ships were waking, but something older, something darker. In sealed vaults, ancient human weapons hummed again. Machines that had slept for centuries whispered, "Ready." The Iron Reaper scanned the void, its voice calm. Fleet awakened, more to come. The predators had thought the humans gone forever. The galaxy had believed the Deathworlders lost. But the SOS had broken the silence, and now humanity was not only awake, they were gathering, and the galaxy, whether ready or not, would face them once more. The alien encounter. The battle was over. Predator ships burned like dying suns, and the void-twisted wrecks drifted through silence. The Deathworlder fleet moved with cold order. Every strike had been exact. Every kill without hesitation. The small alien vessel, the one that sent the SOS, floated among the ruins, its hull cracked, its crew silent. They had survived not because they were strong, but because someone older, someone darker, had decided they would live. Then the call came, a signal stronger than any they had ever heard. Their consoles lit up. The voice was deep, metallic but clear. "Alien vessel, you sent the call. Identify." Fear gripped the crew, their captains. Hands shook as he reached for the comm. He whispered to himself, "They are real, they live." Then louder, We are refugees hunted by the predators. We only sought rescue. Forgive us." For a long moment, silence answered. The alien crew felt the weight of history pressing on their shoulders. Then the human ship spoke again. "Refugees, you awaken. Hus, you call us to war, explain." The crew exchanged desperate looks. How could they explain centuries of fear, empires of cruelty? They spoke the only truth they knew. The predators rule, they enslave, they burn, they hunt without mercy. No one stops them. No one dares. The human ship was silent, but deep within its halls, ancient systems processed. Memory banks recalled wars long past, images of burning cities, broken worlds, chains of slaves, all too familiar. Then the voice answered, "Humans do not protect. Humans do not rule. Humans survive. If your enemy hunts you, then your enemy is ours." The alien crew trembled, not sure if those words meant salvation or doom. Soon, a docking signal locked onto their ship. The crew's eyes widened as a massive bay door of the human warship opened. Their vessel was pulled inside, swallowed by the belly of a beast. Inside, silence pressed heavier than space. Lights flickered along ancient corridors, metal walls scarred by battles whispered of violence older than empires. The alien crew stepped out, their claws scraping against steel floors, their breaths loud in their own ears. Then they saw them. Humans, not machines, not myths. Real flesh and blood. Tall, heavier than any alien. Their muscles built by gravity that crushed weaker species. Their eyes sharp, glowing in the dim light. Scars ran across their faces like maps of pain. The alien crew froze, their captain bowed low, his voice shaking. "We thank you. We owe our lives to you," but the humans did not smile. They did not speak kind words. Their leader stepped forward, his voice calm yet cold. "You called us back." "Why?" The captain swallowed. "Because no one else would help." The human leader studied him, his gaze unreadable. Then he said, "The galaxy forgot us. It called us monsters. It hunted us once. Yet now, when it suffers, it remembers our name." He paused, his words heavy. "Tell us, alien, do you call us saviors or executioners?" The crew could not answer. Their silence was answer enough. Then for the first time, a human expression changed. The leader's lips curled in something not quite a smile, not quite a snarl. He turned and spoke to his people. "Prepare the fleet. If the predators rule, then let us remind them what it means to rule a death world." The alien crew watched as the humans walked past, their boots heavy, their presence terrifying. These were not rescuers. These were storms given flesh in the galaxy beyond. Whispers spread faster. Smugglers carried the news. Slaves chanted in their chains. Rebels lit fires in the night sky. Everywhere the same words rose. The humans walk again. But in the halls of predator emperors, rage boiled, orders spread. Find them. Crush them before they spread further. Fleets doubled. Armies trained, yet deep down even the predators knew. They were not the hunters anymore. And in the heart of the human flagship, the ancient AIs awakened fully. Vaults unlocked. Weapons long forgotten warmed to life. Humans spoke not of peace, not of mercy, but of war. And the alien refugees, standing small in the shadow of giants, realized a truth that shook their souls. They had not just been saved. They had lit the fire of something unstoppable. Shadows of war, the galaxy shook, not from weapons, but from whispers. Every corner of space carried the same news. The Deathworlders had awakened on the predator homeworld. The Emperor sat upon a throne of bones, his claws gripping the armrests, tight. Rage burned in his eyes. The humans return. Then we will tear them apart before they spread. Fleets were summoned, soldiers drilled without rest. Banners of war filled the skies. But deep in the mines where slaves groaned under chains, the whispers were different. A thin worker lifted his head and smiled for the first time in years. "Humans fight, maybe we live." Guards whipped him, but the whisper did not die. It spread from mouth to mouth, camp to camp, until it became a chant. On trade stations, smugglers carried rumors like treasure. Some claimed they saw human ships move like shadows. Others swore they heard voices of ancient AIs across the channels. One smuggler laughed bitterly. "Fear sells, and nothing sells like the word human." Yet fear was not the only currency. Hope was rising too. Meanwhile, Within the awakened fleet, humans moved with ruthless order. Shipyards once hidden in moons opened again. Drones built weapons without pause. Fleets of black warships stretched across the void like storms gathering. The refugees who had first sent the SOS were kept alive but watched closely. They wandered the cold steel halls of the flagship, their eyes wide, their voices small. They whispered to each other. They do not fight like others. They prepare like predators, patient, waiting for the kill. One night, the alien captain was summoned again before the human leader. He entered a chamber vast and dark, walls lined with glowing maps of the galaxy. Human officers stood around like statues, their eyes sharp, their silence heavier than words. The leader pointed at the maps. Red marks glowing. These are the predator strongholds, you know them. You lived under them. Speak. The captain hesitated, but he obeyed. He pointed to mining worlds, slave colonies, hidden shipyards. He spoke of cruelty, of fear, of endless chains. The human leader listened without emotion, then said only, "Good. The predators believe themselves hunters, but now the hunt changes." The alien captain dared to ask, his voice trembling, "Why do you fight? Is it for us? Is it for justice?" The human's eyes narrowed, his voice low and heavy. "We do not fight for justice. We do not fight for mercy. We fight because we were born on a death world and in a death world. You strike first, or you die." The alien felt his heart sink. He realized humans were not heroes, not saviors. They were something else. Yet he also felt a strange spark of hope. Perhaps only monsters could slay monsters. Beyond the fleet, the predator empire moved. Vast, armadas gathered. Millions of soldiers prepared, but cracks appeared. Whispers of fear spread through their ranks. Old veterans remembered stories. Battles lost to humans. Scars carried by their ancestors, they spoke in hushed tones. Deathworlders never die, they only sleep. And in the high council of other empires, panic turned to secret plotting. Some wanted to join the predators to crush the humans before it was too late. Others dreamed of alliances. If humans rise, maybe they break the predator chains, but humans did not wait. The Iron Reaper led the fleet to the border, weapons armed, engines glowing, signals spread through the void. Operation begins on a dark world where slaves dug under poisoned skies. Explosions lit the horizon. Predator guards screamed as black ships descended. Humans stormed the camps, their weapons cutting chains as easily as they cut flesh. The slaves wept. Some fell to their knees, crying, "Saviors, saviors." But the humans only said, "Stand, fight." And so the first sparks of rebellion spread, not only from whispers, but from fire in the predator throne world. Rage turned to dread. Their emperor roared, "They free the slaves, they burn our worlds, they rise." His words shook the hall, but deep inside even he felt the old fear, the fear that once drove his ancestors to try and erase humanity. The shadows of war grew longer, fleets gathered, rebellions rose, the galaxy trembled. And in the cold steel heart of the flagship, the humans sharpened their blades, their voices calm, their eyes merciless. They were not heroes. They were not villains, they were Deathworlders, and they were awake. Humanity unleashed, the first sparks of rebellion had become flames. But flames alone could not win. Humans did not wait for the predators to gather. They struck first. The Iron Reaper led the fleet across predator borders. Their engines left trails of blue fire in the void. Behind them, ships with names like Storm, Child Leviathan, Black Fang, and Wrath of Earth followed, each a legend wrapped in steel. Predator fleets rushed to meet them. Vast armadas, thousands of ships, millions of soldiers, banners raised high, commanders snarled with pride. They are only myths, they bleed like any other. But in their eyes was fear. Fear that grew as the scanners filled with black shapes moving like shadows. The battle began. Human ships did not roar with war cries. They moved in silence, their tactics sharp, precise, merciless. Drones swarmed ahead, each one a predator of steel, their claws tearing through enemy hulls. Cannons fired beams that sliced ships apart in seconds. Missiles struck with such force, entire formations broke. The predators tried to counter. They charged in waves, but humans did not fight in waves. They fought like storms, surrounding, crushing, cutting escape. Their ships danced between fleets as if gravity itself bent for them. Alien observers watched from hidden stations. Their eyes wide, one whispered, "This is not war. This is annihilation." Predator ships exploded by the hundreds. Their commanders screamed orders. "Hold the line, regroup." But no regrouping mattered when entire wings vanished in minutes. The humans unleashed their ground forces too. Pods of black steel rained on predator worlds, opening to release soldiers, men and women hardened by a death world's gravity, and storms. They moved faster, hit harder, survived longer. Their weapons burned with brutal efficiency. On the ground, predator soldiers saw humans up close for the first time in centuries. Towering, scarred, eyes like predators themselves. One predator dropped his rifle, whispering, "They are demons." Before the human crushed him aside and moved forward, the predators fought with numbers, billions strong. But numbers meant nothing. When morale broke, when fear spread like poison, soldiers ran, ships fled, worlds burned. Yet humans were not only destruction. In the slave camps, they cut chains. In the prisons, they shattered gates. They gave weapons to the broken. "Fight," they told them. "Stand. Do not kneel again." Hope spread like wildfire. Rebellions rose faster than the predators could crush them. Worlds that had bowed for centuries now roared with freedom, but not all allies trusted them in the councils of neutral empires. Leaders watched in terror. "They do not save, they destroy. What if their war spreads to us?" Some argued for alliance, others for resistance. The galaxy divided. Back in the predator throne world, the Emperor screamed, his voice echoing through halls of iron. "They take our worlds. They burn our fleets. They dare challenge us." His claws slashed the air, but even his generals lowered their heads, afraid to meet his eyes, afraid to speak the truth. Because the truth was clear, for the first time in 1,000 years, the predators were hunted. The alien refugees, still aboard the flagship, watched the humans with awe and dread. Their captain whispered, "They are not saviors. They are storms." One of his crew added, "But maybe a storm is what the galaxy needed." Inside the flagship, ancient vaults opened, weapons sealed for centuries powered to life, massive cannons capable of splitting moons, swarms of war drones, cloaked ships, designed to vanish in shadow. Humans prepared not for one battle, but for a war across stars. The human leader stood before his people, his voice calm, heavy, final. "They call us monsters. Let them. They call us demons. Let them. But we are survivors. We are Deathworlders, and this galaxy will remember what that means." The fleet roared to life, not with sound but with fire. Engines burning, weapons charged, humans unleashed, and the galaxy trembled. The return of the Deathworlders. The galaxy was no longer silent, it burned. Predator fleets shattered in battle after battle. Slave worlds rose in revolt. Rebellion spread faster than chains could be reforged. Everywhere the same whisper filled the air. The Deathworlders have returned, but humans did not slow. They pressed forward, system by system. Their fleets cut through resistance like knives through flesh. Their soldiers struck on the ground with ruthless precision. Their AIs spoke with cold certainty. Objective complete, move to next. The Predator Emperor stood in his throne hall, his empire shrinking with every passing day. Rage twisted his face, but behind his rage was fear, for he knew history. He knew that once before his kind had tried to erase humanity and failed. Desperate, the Predators called for allies. They begged the neutral empires, "Join us or humanity will devour us all." But the council halls trembled with indecision. Some feared humans, others saw them as saviors, some whispered, "Better Deathworlders than predators." In the shadows of rebel colonies, humans were not feared. They were worshipped. Banners of iron and fire rose in the streets. Chants echoed, "Deathworlders, Deathworlders." Slaves kissed the ground. Where humans walked, but humans did not smile. They did not bask in praise. They moved forward, always forward. The alien refugees, the ones who had sent the SOS, traveled with the fleet still. Their captain walked the steel corridors of the flagship, his eyes wide as he saw vaults opening. Ancient weapons released, machines so terrible he could not even name them. He whispered to his crew. They were never sleeping. They were waiting. Because the truth was revealed piece by piece. Humans had not vanished. They had not been destroyed. They had hidden. They had buried their fleets, their weapons, their people, deep in shadows, always watching, always listening, waiting for the moment the galaxy would call again. And when the SOS came, they answered not out of mercy, but because it was time. In the final confrontation, Predator fleets gathered around their throne world, billions of soldiers, thousands of ships, all sworn to die before surrender. The Emperor raised his claws high, roaring, "We are the true hunters. We will end them." But the humans came. The sky above the throne world split open. Black ships filled the void. So many the stars themselves vanished. Weapons lit like firestorms. The Iron Reaper spoke across all channels, its voice calm. "You hunted too long, now you are prey." The battle was the greatest the galaxy had seen. Predators fought with desperation, their ships ramming, their soldiers charging. But humans did not break. They moved with unity, their fleets striking as one mind, their soldiers fighting with strength no predator matched. In hours, the Predator Empire burned. The Emperor's throne shattered. His palace fell to dust. His last roar silenced by fire. And when it was over, silence filled the stars again. But it was not the silence of death. It was the silence of fear and of awe. Humans stood upon the ashes. Their leader spoke to the galaxy for the first time. His words broadcast across every channel, every world. "We are Deathworlders. We were forgotten, but we did not forget." The galaxy called, and we answered. Remember this day. Remember who we are and know that we watch. The message ended. Fleets turned. Humans vanished into shadow again, leaving wreckage, leaving whispers, leaving fear. In the refugee ship, the alien captain bowed his head, his voice shaking. "We thought we called for saviors, but we called for storms, and storms do not save. They change everything." And so the galaxy entered a new age, not ruled by predators, not ruled by councils, but ruled by the memory of the Deathworlders, the monsters who returned when the galaxy cried. And in every corner of space the same truth was spoken. The Deathworlders were back, and they had never truly left.